In the sport of kings, tradition, heritage and pedigree are sovereign. Success on the track is the last chapter of a story that started centuries ago. Which is why on this month's Winning Post we trace the origins of thoroughbred racing from its home here in Newmarket to here in Dubai, ahead of the world's richest horse race, the Dubai World Cup. Thoroughbred racing began over 300 years ago in England, when the idea of breeding superior racehorses was a passion for the royal family. King Charles II helped make Newmarket what it is today, one of the world's leading training and breeding centres. There is so much history to this town and its affiliation with the thoroughbred, so no better place to start than here at the National Horse Racing Museum. Although thoroughbred racing began in England, the origins of the horses themselves can be found in the Middle East and the Arabian breed. Famed for its grace, spirit and endurance, it is from just 3 remarkable stallions that all racehorses now descend. The oldest is the Aly Turk, a Turkish stallion and former warhorse. There's then the Aly Arabian, who was born in Syria, and 95% of all thoroughbreds can trace their ancestry back to this single stallion. Then the third of the forefathers is the Godolphin Arabian, who was foaled in Yemen. What was it about then, those 3 forefathers? Why did British horses at the time need some Middle East influence?
At the time, most horses were extremely heavy, and as the racing became more competitive, they were looking for an influence that would keep the stamina, but also breed a lighter horse.
So how did those 3 horses, particularly Aly Arabian, who's the most famous, how did they end up coming to the UK?
The Aly Arabian's an interesting case, and it is, of the 3 main stallions, the one we know most about. He left Aleppo on the 4th of January, and in one journey he arrived in Ireland in early May without a stop in any other port. The thought of a highly strung stallion surviving at sea for 5 months without any problems is almost miraculous. But it's through that bloodline that we get through to Eclipse and then through to the modern horses. There are a number of breeds that are used for racing horses, like standardbreds, Appaloosas, Mongolian ponies. But one is seeing the thoroughbred emerge as the dominant breed because it is so fast, agile, competitive compared with the other horses.
Just a few furlongs up the road from the museum is Cheveley Park Stud. Once the property of William the Conqueror, it was established as a stud by the 5th Duke of Rutland and has been owned by David and Patricia Thompson since the mid-70s. The estate is now home to one of the biggest breeding operations in the UK. Through these gates is where the dream starts. Could any of the foals that we see today go on to become world beaters? Cheveley Park is set in almost 1,000 acres of prime English countryside. Each season they cover up to 600 mares, of which around 10% are their own. So it's a busy time of year for the stud.
We have 130 brood mares and 87 mares due to foal this year, of which we have 28 born already. We've seen a few born in the last 3 weeks, and actually one that was only born the night before last, so a very new arrival.
It's something very special about the place, and this is where these youngsters, potential future champions, this is where they enter life, and it's a wonderful upbringing, isn't it?
It is. We have 3 foaling facilities, 2 which are active, in which the mares are monitored. We have cameras in each stable. We have somebody sitting up at night to monitor the mares, and then if their mare looks like she's going to foal, the process is quite quick. Can take 15-20 minutes from starting to break water to actually foaling. My team, of which we have just over 50 members of staff, look after them, and we hope that they'll all be champions.
Tell me a little bit about the thought process of starting off breeding and how you match a champion mare with a potential sire.
Yes, obviously the planning of the mating is an exciting part of the whole process. We look at the stallions that are available, the wonderful racehorses that have retired. We then look at the pedigree, 5-generation pedigree, compare them, look at the mare itself, match it with the stallion's conformation, size, and then research the crosses that have worked over the years, and then try to hopefully come up with a foal that can be as good as it can be. I mean, it's a highly competitive business, as we know.
There are 7 stallions on site, of which Pivotal takes pride of place. The first homebred horse to carry the Thompson colours, he's now one of the most successful stallions in the world. His progeny have won over $35 million in prize money. So he warrants his own impressive stable, and the man responsible for his every need is head stallion man John Rice.
Well, it's quite incredible to get so close to what is a legend of stallions. This is Pivotal, who's 23 years old now, and he has sired many champions all round the world. And John, you look after him. He looks so well for his age.
He does. He's in great health form for a horse of his age. Yeah, he's 23 now, yeah.
How do you look after him day to day? He's in a beautiful stable. What does he get up to?
Well, I'll feed him now at 6:30 in the morning, and he'll start exercising about 7:15. He'll do about 3 mile. He'll
and
walk
exercising?
around, yeah, walk around the farm. He'll cover his mare at 9 o'clock. He'll go out to the paddock for 3 or 4 hours, and then he's in. He'll have a mare at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then he's roped up, fed, and then if he has a mare at 8 o'clock in the evening, he'll get that done. And same for the next day. It's a pretty long old day for him, but once he gets down the paddock for a few hours, he's grand, he can relax then, you know. This is my bedroom next door, so I can hear everything he does at night. And I have cameras as well in my kitchen, so I can see what he's doing. So he's monitored nearly 24/7, you know.
So you sleep through that wall?
Yeah, that's me bed and against that wall. Yeah.
Incredible. Well, you do a very good job. He's looking fabulous.
Thanks, thank you. Oh, boy, there, the big boy.
Pivotal's influence is global, and amongst his many Group 1 champions is Dubai World Cup winner African Story. In Chieveley's yearling quarters is another very promising offspring.
We're looking in particular at a filly by Frankel out of a Pivotal mare called Infallible, who was a very tough and good race mare herself. A bit of a look of her father, I think. She will be raced, she won't be offered for sale, so hopefully she'll have the Chieveley Park red, white and blue silks and the winner's enclosure in due course.
What step on the ladder are these horses then in their career as a racehorse?
They'll be presented and shown to the trainers that Mr. and Mrs. Thompson use. Roger Varian, who trains 12 horses for Chieveley Park Stud, is one of our major trainers, and he will come up and we will hopefully find something that he will find something that he likes, and then the process starts.
They're all so beautifully bred. They've all been given the ideal start to a career, but can you tell, as you look at them, the ones that perhaps could make it?
I think you get a bit of an idea. I think you get a bit of an idea. I think it's a combination of the athleticism that you see in the paddock, also their mental attitude to life, whether they are, have a nice temperament, a good focus on what's required, obviously soundness, correctness, and the actual structure and balance. They're a painting, and to me they're all Group 1 winners at this age, but who really knows? It's very difficult to say, but maybe what we're breeding here in Newmarket might be racing, who knows, all around the world in due course.
Well, there's still a long way to go for this bunch before they see a race course, but after the break we'll find out exactly what it takes to turn youngsters like the ones we've seen here at Chieveley Park Stud into champions capable of beating the best in the world.